All right, guys, we're back. You probably noticed I did miss a handful of uploads over the last week and a half or so. I've been out of town. We took two separate trips, one for business, one for pleasure. Took the family on a small vacation, one on a cruise. We figured January would be the best time to get away from the snow here in Utah. So I was gone on that one for a little while. But the second trip, which you guys probably will find out a lot more about in the very near future, was actually to go to look at a shop. It's in a different state, and I don't want to say a whole lot more about it other than potentially and probably this is the year that finally Tolman Performance, my little YouTube channel / whatever I do here, we're potentially finally going to get into a shop. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. I'm kind of overwhelmed, to be perfectly honest with you, but that's just kind of where I have been for the last little bit. I haven't had a lot of time to do any work on the drag truck chassis. That's kind of what I'm going to give you an update on today, though, because we do have some parts coming in here and there. And my main goal is to get this thing in a roller because, well, potentially we have to put this thing on a flatbed and move it a fair distance. Anyway, I hate saying stuff. I knock on wood, you know, fake wood grain sticker will knock on that. Anyway, new parts. We have some stuff from Richard at Atomic Fabrication and Performance. So huge shout out to him. He has been a big supporter of the channel. I've got his stuff on just about all of my project trucks that I've done. On the Copo truck, I ran his full front coilover front suspension kit. I ran his rear shock relocation and the urethane motor mounts on that truck. And on the drag truck chassis, I've got his drop motor mount set to get the 8.1 a little bit lower, kind of keep the center of gravity down and improve driveline angles. I already have his rear shock kit on the rear of the Copo truck, which is, you know, complete roller outside. And now he just sent me his very first adjustable upper coilover mount. Now, if you remember, we've been kind of going through a whole process on the front suspension of this thing, basically converting from torsion bars to coilovers. And one of the, well, there's two main objectives I have: lightweight and a longer travel adjustable coilover shock. So we've got some Viking Crusaders you can see on there. It's a really good shock. It's got about 6 inches of travel on there, and we're trying to do a custom setup. We had to do some work to these control arms to get everything to fit exactly where we need it to go. And now the very last piece of the puzzle is just getting the shocks in place. I originally built a special bracket that was supposed to, I had originally planned on mounting it right flush with the back of this, but that presented a whole host of clearance issues. So Richard reached out to me and said, hey, I've got something in the works you might be interested in, you may want to try out. And they showed up just the other day. Actually, they showed up when I was gone, but here they are. So these are Atomic Fabrication's newest offering, an adjustable coilover mount. So basically, if you've got a truck like this, you come in here and you cut off the stock upper shock bracket. And I believe, I might be speaking out of turn here, but I believe these should work with both 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive, but I'll let Richard handle the details on that. But anyway, these are his new brackets. So made out of 1/4-inch steel. They've got about, I think I measured those, but I forget now. There's like 2.5 inches of adjustment. Let's get this guy fired up. Boom. So from top to bottom, I have them in the lowest position. That's about, so call it 2.5 inches of adjustment. And once you chop off the stock upper shock bracket, basically, you kind of weld that guy on there. And then that's your upper shock mount. Your lower one, you can either use a control arm like that, or you can use a Richard's coilover conversion kit. And then you have your adjustment range there, up and down. So wanted to show you guys that. Richard also sent me his newest rear upper shock brackets. I used a similar setup on the back of both trucks, but he redesigned them a little bit just so they fit up tight against the bottom of the bed. These are going to get welded on pretty much like that. As you can see, they will stick up above the frame, but flush with the bottom of the bed. For me, this cross member is going to get relocated about 3 inches further ahead, because I am going to have a fuel tank back here, but these will work, of course, with the stock positioning as well. Just grab his lower bracket set, and you've got yourself a rear shock relocation kit. I've got Viking, the base level Vikings are Warriors. Yeah, I have Viking Warriors on the back and Viking Crusaders up front. I'll probably end up upgrading the rear ones at some point. But anyway, that's kind of where we are at. Yeah, I feel bad even making this video, but I just kind of wanted to explain my absence because, yeah, it has been, I think, a week and a half. I think I missed 3 uploads. I try to do 2 uploads a week, and when it comes to this whole YouTube thing, like, that's a fair amount of work. A lot of you guys ask, well, do I have a day job? Do I do anything else? And this is like literally my full-time job. It's all I do. 6.5 days a week, basically. I spend usually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, working on a video for Thursday. Wednesday afternoon to Thursday morning, I'm editing, and then Thursday afternoon, Friday, I will film Sunday's video, and then usually Sunday morning I edit it. But I just got back into town, like, let's see, it was like Saturday morning, and then I had a little bit of time on Saturday to work, and then Sunday I just kind of wanted to take it easy. So here we are back in the shop. I've actually already started a little bit on the front coilover installation kind of mock-up phase. So next week we should be kind of back in business, but depending on what happens with the whole shop situation, there might be a lot going on. I might be a little bit in and out when it comes to uploads, but my goal is still to have this truck ready for April. I have no idea if that's even feasible anymore, but if you think about it, we're pretty close because we have the front suspension like 85% done. I've got to just make sure everything's going to clear here before we burn that in for good. The rear suspension is like 50% done. We've got the monoleafs in, we've got the sliders on. A little bit of framework back here, just kind of moving some stuff around. We got to get our anti-roll bar installed, which is fairly straightforward stuff. We're going to C-notch the frame. And after that, the chassis is pretty much going to be ready. I am going to get it, say, sandblasted, powder coated, or more realistically painted. There's one more thing I wanted to do, and that's kind of reconstruct this guy here to leave room for like a 5-inch exhaust. But then, of course, we got to get our... I overwhelm myself thinking about all the details of stuff that has to get done. But as far as like the rolling chassis goes, we are dangerously close to getting this thing fully buttoned up and to the point where we can swap the body over from the ugly truck, or still toying around with the idea of finding another truck or a cab, or, you know, just so I have 2, you know, a 2-wheel drive 8.1 stock street sleeper, whatever you want to call it, and then the 4-wheel drive full-blown race truck. But I still love the idea of like an ugly, unassuming, stock-appearing, fast vehicle. So anyway, that's the update for the day, guys. Thank you for watching. I apologize that we don't have any actual progress being made, but behind the scenes, we've got some stuff cooking that I think you guys are going to enjoy, hopefully. But it's going to mean some possibly big things for the channel. So again, thank you guys. I appreciate you, each and every one of you guys who watch these videos and who subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more cool work, check out the compilation video or the build summary of Ugly Truck version 1, because that was a blast. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Come back soon.